All right, for all you cyclists and triathletes out there, listen up, because this is the one we've all been waiting for. The Garmin Edge 550 and 850 have finally landed, and they are promising to be the go-to mid-sized upgrade for a huge number of us.
See, these new computers, they pack all the killer features from the big, expensive Edge 1050 into a smaller, sleeker size. But now that the first reviews are out, it has sparked a huge debate online. So the question is this the ultimate upgrade we've been hoping for, or is it actually a pretty costly mistake from Garmin?
Okay, let's get right into it. First, let's build the case for buying one of these new Edges, because I gotta tell you, on paper, the upgrades look seriously impressive. The first thing, and I mean the very first thing, that every single reviewer, from DCR Rainmaker to DeskFit, is raving about, it's the screen. This is the one upgrade that is getting hands-down universal praise.
And GP Llama really puts it best here. We're talking about a 2.7-inch transmissive LCD display. That's the exact same tech you'd find in the bigger, pricier 1050. And what that means for you on the road is just incredible vibrance, deep colors, and this amazing contrast that makes your maps and your data fields just pop right off the screen.
But hey, it's not just about the screen. Under the hood, there's a much faster processor, which makes the whole interface feel super snappy and smooth. You'll really notice it when you're moving maps around. The 850 model also gets a built-in speaker, which brings back a fan-favorite feature from the 1050, the digital bike bell. And, of course, for those all-important coffee stops mid-ride, you also get Garmin Pay.
But just as everyone was getting super excited about that gorgeous screen and all the new features, they slammed right into a reality check. Two of them, actually.
Because all this new technology, it comes at a pretty significant cost. And no, I'm not even talking about the price tag, just yet. The first big problem, and maybe the biggest one of all, is endurance.
12 hours. That's Garmin's official number for what they call demanding use. Now, 12 hours, that number might not sound too bad on its own, right? But to really get what that means, you have to compare it to what came before.
And look at this. I mean, the drop here is just staggering. The battery life on the new 850 has been more than cut in half. We're going from 26 hours down to just 12. This is the central trade-off. You can't get around it. You get that brilliant, power-hungry screen, but you give up more than half your ride time.
The triathlete and tech reviewer, the 5K runner, he just puts it so bluntly. And he makes a huge point. Think about what happens after a couple of years of use, when the battery naturally starts to degrade. That 12 hours could get pretty dicey, creating what he calls charge anxiety for riders. Nobody wants that.
And then we get to the second big problem, the price. GP Llama said the price jumps are, quote, well beyond incremental. The Edge 850 is launching at $599. That's a 33% increase over the 840's launch price. So let's just process that for a second. You're paying way more for a device with less than half the battery life.
So you've got this huge trade-off on the table, a brilliant screen versus a massive drop in battery life and a big price hike. So where did the experts actually land on this?
Well, it's fascinating because the whole community has basically split right down the middle into two camps. You've got Team Brilliant Screen on one side and Team Battery Life on the other. And they both have really good points.
DeskFit, for example, is squarely on Team Brilliant Screen. He says he's fine with charging more often, and he's planning to switch to the 850. But then you have the 5K runner and GPL Llama, who are firmly on Team Battery Life. GPL Llama even called it a very big gamble for Garmin. And then there's DC Rainmaker, who's kind of caught in the middle. He's not sure the trade-off is worth it, but he also points out that when you look at the competition, the price is, in his words, somehow reasonable.
So after all that, what does this mean for you? Well, ultimately, the right choice really comes down to a simple question. What kind of rider are you, and what do you actually value most in a bike computer?
Okay, so who is this for? Well, the 850 or the 550 is probably for you if a stunning screen is your absolute #1 priority. If most of your rides are under, say, 5 or 6 hours and you're good about plugging your stuff in every few rides. Basically, if you want the absolute latest tech and you're okay with making some compromises to get it, this is your device.
On the other hand, you really should think twice, or maybe look at other options, if battery life is your top concern. If you do those long, all-day epic rides, multi-day events, or if you just hate the thought of constantly charging your gear, then the previous generation Edge 840, with more than double the battery for less money, is probably a much better value for you.
So in the end, it really all boils down to this one question. Are you here for that brilliant, cutting-edge visual experience, or are you here for long-haul endurance and set-it-and-forget-it reliability? Your answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about Garmin's new Edge.